This is Mac OS Ken.
The state of things and stuff. Apple won Tuesday on Wall Street, and awards from Apple for audio. It is Wednesday, the 1st of December, 2021. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by Notion. One workspace for your whole team. Learn more and get started for free at notion.so. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons, through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macosken. Loop Ventures principal Gene Munster has had a look at lead times for Apple products and has come away a bit surprised. In a post on his firm's site, he says waits for popular Apple products are longer than anticipated based on the company's last earnings call. That said, while the holiday season is a fixed point on the calendar, would-be buyers don't just want things, they want Apple things. According to Mr. Munster, what's most important is demand for both Apple's newest and previous generation products is strong, and to the extent the December quarter is negatively impacted from greater than expected supply chain bottlenecks, the March quarter will have a corresponding positive impact. In his post, Mr. Munster went through waits for various Apple products. Not surprisingly, iPad is the hardest to get. That's something we've seen telegraphed since Apple's earnings call in late October. It was then, according to CNBC, that Apple CFO Luca Maestri said that iPad sales would decline year over year in the December quarter due to supply constraints, while other product categories would grow. The wait for handsets in the iPhone 13 line averages out to 8 days, according to Mr. Munster. That's an improvement over the 9-day wait a week earlier. I bring that up because of a new estimate/prediction from Trendforce. A piece from Apple Insider has the analysis firm indicating that Apple will be the world's top smartphone maker by the end of this quarter, unseating Samsung. The Trendforce expectation is that iPhone's global share will grow from its October quarter estimate of 15.9% to 23.2% by year's end. The part that would be neat to know is why. Apple has definitely done what it can to increase production. Quarter over quarter, the piece says, Apple's 4 iPhone 13 and iPhone 13 Pro models drove a 22.6% increase in iPhone production in the third quarter of 2021. At the same time, every consumer electronics manufacturer, including Apple, has been negatively impacted by supply constraints and production issues. For some, that looks like lower sales. For others, like Apple, it looks like great sales that could have been even greater if not for kinks in the supply chain. So, will Apple overtake Samsung because people are choosing to switch? Or have production issues on Sammy's side left a window open for Apple? It's probably more factors than we know. If iPhone does take the top spot globally, there may be a model close on the horizon to keep it on top. The same Trendforce post that has iPhone taking the planet has Apple introducing a 5G-enabled iPhone SE in the March quarter of next year. More on that, perhaps, in the March quarter of next year. It seems unlikely that last quarter will be iPad's last hurrah, but it certainly seems to have been a hurrah. Apple's own numbers and comments on the earnings call indicated a record September quarter for the tablet. Now, there's more support for the iPad story from Europe. 9to5Mac highlights new numbers from Canalys that say iPad was the only tablet to see growth in Western Europe last quarter. According to the report, the firm figures 4 of the top 5 tablet makers in the region saw a year-on-year fall by anywhere from 20% to 53%, iPad being a very notable exception. Despite the contracting market, says Canalys, Apple appeared to be unaffected. In recent quarters, Apple has increasingly widened its leadership in the market with other tablet vendors. In the third quarter, Apple saw a 33% year-on-year growth, while the other top 5 vendors recorded double-digit declines. Was any of that the reason that Apple hit a new closing high on Tuesday? As has been discussed before, it was probably no one thing. Still, Apple's rise of $5.06, or 3.16%, was particularly notable due to the downward slide of just about everything else. Google, Microsoft, Twitter, Facebook, the Dow, and the Nasdaq were all down between 1.5% and 4% on Tuesday. So what was Apple's story? CNBC had Needham and Company analyst Laura Martin crediting Apple's impressive cash flow, its current product lineup, and excitement around AR for bucking the trend. On the cash front, Martin told CNBC there's a flight to quality with companies that you know will weather the storm, not go bankrupt, not have financial distress. On the current products, lots of really good numbers coming out of retail about how the products are selling, according to Martin. Tablets, especially the high-end iPhones, all of which says they're going to have high margins and high revenue for the fourth quarter of this year. And on the future, Martin says the biggest criticism of Apple for the last 5 years is no new products. When you look at the product pipeline, lots of excitement there, especially in the press today about how they're going to introduce augmented reality glasses at the next WWDC in June. Might make sense, though that is the first time I've heard AR and WWDC 2022 mentioned together. Martin has a buy rating on Apple shares. Her price target on the shares is $170. As for Apple's Tuesday performance, Mac Daily News says shares of the Cupertino company ended the day at $165.30, giving Apple a market valuation of $2.7 trillion. More news in a moment, but first a word from Notion, one workspace for your whole team. Not all work collaboration tools are created equal. Some help you organize your company's information. Others allow you to manage projects together. Notion does both. It is one tool for your whole team to do it all. With powerful integrations and seamless navigation, you'll have everything you need in one spot, so you can make speed your advantage without the silos and context switching that can slow companies down. And this is my favorite part. Notion has a worldwide network of millions of users, creating templates, tutorials, and new inspiration. They're sharing what they've learned, which should make your experience even better. Learn more and get started for free at notion.so. You can check it out on your own and invite as many people as you want to see how it works. Take the first step toward an organized, happy team today, again, at notion.so. As it has for several years, Apple Retail is marking World AIDS Day in what has become an annual tradition, says a piece from Mac Rumors. Select Apple Store locations are now displaying a red Apple logo in support of World AIDS Day on the 1st of December, such as Apple Nanjing East in Shanghai and Apple Ginza in Tokyo, with other locations likely to follow. You know, as the 1st of December makes its way around the planet. As cool as a day of visual recognition is, money goes a long way for the cause, and Apple is raising a bit of that. Mac Rumor says Apple has also announced that now through the 6th of December, it will donate $1 for every purchase made with Apple Pay on apple.com, through the Apple Store app, or at an Apple Store in the U.S., to the Global Fund to support the fight against AIDS and COVID-19. That'll be capped at $1 million, according to the report. Ghosts in a certain Apple machine. Cult of Mac has word of charging issues for the 2021 16-inch MacBook Pro. Not all of them, but enough to generate notice, it seems. According to the piece, a number of users say their machines failed to charge when they're powered off, with the LED light on the MagSafe charger flashing amber, indicating there is a charging problem. It should be solid amber while charging, switching to solid green once charged. It seems that in certain cases, says the cult, the 16-inch MacBook Pro is not charging correctly when it is closed and powered off. Only the 16-inch machine, again, not happening to all of them. The 14-inch MacBook Pro does not seem to be having this issue. No word yet on why it's happening. Fixes suggested by Apple either don't work at all or they prove temporarily successful before the problem returns, according to the report. If it's happening to you, you should probably get in touch with Apple. Some say they have had chargers and even notebooks replaced by Apple as a result of the issue. Apple hit with a few big end-of-year lists on Tuesday. On the song side, iDownload blog says Apple Music has revealed the most played songs of 2021. The most played song of the year was Dynamite by the K-pop group BTS. The most read lyrics of the year belonged to the song Driver's License by Olivia Rodrigo, which, funny enough, was the second most played song after Dynamite. Positions by Ariana Grande rounded out the top three. Less Taste Tracker, more Taste Maker. Apple Music also announced the winners of its third annual Apple Music Awards on Tuesday. In addition to naming global artists and awards, Apple's press release says the streamer has handed out 5 Regional Artist of the Year awards for the first time. For the whole of the planet, Apple Music named The Weeknd its Global Artist of the Year. Olivia Rodrigo got a few awards, including Breakthrough Artist of the Year, Album of the Year for Sour, and Song of the Year for Driver's License. And finally, Her picked up the streamer's award for Songwriter of the Year. As for going to regionals, WizKid got Artist of the Year for Africa, Aya Nakamura took Artist of the Year for France, Rin won Artist of the Year for Germany, Official Hige Dandism was the Artist of the Year in Japan, and finally, my favorite name of all of them, Scriptonite was Artist of the Year for Russia. On now to the usually spoken word. In another press release Tuesday, Apple lists what it says were the best podcasts of 2021. In addition to 2 big awards, a slight change of plans with Maya Shankar for Best Show of the Year, and anything for Selena with Maria Garcia for Newcomer of the Year, Apple listed a list of shows of the year, episodes of the year, 10 top new shows, 10 top free channels, 10 top subscriptions for individual shows, and 10 top subscriptions for channels. 3 cheers for all that. And finally today, I am starting to think award season never actually ends. Congratulations go out to an Apple TV Plus film. iMore cites a Deadline report that says CODA has picked up 2 Gotham Awards. Known formally as the Gotham Independent Film Awards, the award site says those are American Film Awards presented annually to the makers of independent films at a ceremony in New York City. New York City. 2 of CODA's stars picked up trophies. Amelia Jones took the Breakthrough Performer Award for her starring role, according to Deadline, while Troy Kotzer won for Outstanding Supporting Performance. The piece says these are the first 2 awards CODA has picked up for the season. If it never actually ends, though, can we really call it a season? macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by Notion. One workspace for your whole team. Learn more and get started for free at notion.so. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macosken. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media. Online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macosken.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.